Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, and you may recognise, if you've watched the last couple of videos I've made, that this is Trinity Fusion still, because after continuing to play after the last video, I've got further. There's a few more things I wanted to show you and mention. Firstly, when you get the orb things, the little blue ones and the little gold things, what you do is you take them back to the base and you can use them to add extra abilities, whether they're weapon kind of abilities or kind of buffs, and once you've added them and spent the orbs, you keep them. So you can keep picking up more orbs each time you go on a run, which means you'll have more and more abilities, but once you spent them on one time on the ability, you've got it forever, and then when you go back, basically you load up the abilities you want. So the first few times you do it, you'll only have a couple of abilities, you won't have bought more. Each time you get quite a lot of those orb things, if you save them up, you will then be able to buy a different ability and add that, and then in the end you'll be able to chop and change the abilities you want, because you'll have quite a few and you won't be able to fit them all at the same time. You can also buy extra slots so you can take more abilities, so that's how that kind of works. So that's all good. So having played this on a bit, I've got further. I killed the first kind of boss thing, it's called a lens that you were trying to get to, and I killed the boss there. Wasn't easy at all. I'd been killed by quite a few times, and you absolutely need to go into that with quite a lot of life, and you need the buff things you get back at the base, which gives you some of the things are like resurrection. If you die, you get resurrection, you get extra life, so you need all those kind of things, because it's hard to kill, and I was on very low life, even though I had an extra life when I went into it, and I had resurrection and already had extra life from my buff from my stats, so it was difficult, but I did it. And then what happens after you do that is you get sent to a new level, and yeah, it's cool because it's completely different looking. The enemies are different, slightly tougher, some are much tougher, there seems to be more of them, and the whole thing's a different looking area. So you can see there's a lot of platforming in this, and it's really quite cool because you don't, if you fall, you see, you do get injured if you fall into that liquid, but you don't die. You have to be on very low health to die. And that's one of the things I like a lot about this game. I mentioned it in the other video. There's no stupid damage or stupid deaths. If you die, it's because you fought something and got killed, probably because you didn't have enough health to get killed, or you fell and you had like 1% of health, and so you died there. But you won't die from anything silly. You won't die just from falling off one of these unless you're on very low health. Yeah, it's all pretty good. One thing I didn't, there's another new enemy. One thing I didn't bargain on when I was playing this, and it's actually now about 1:30 AM in London, is that it kind of continues on. I thought when you completed the boss level, you would go back to the base, but that's not how it worked. You just got sent through another gateway to this level, and I'm still playing the same character. I know there are other characters, so I'm still waiting for them, but so I'm kind of stuck with playing on because I'm not quite sure what will happen if I keep this all I've got. Those things from the ceiling are very nasty. The flying hanging aliens, there's quite a lot of them, different types that hang from the ceiling or walk along the ceiling. They're the most difficult ones to kill. We can kind of laser it a bit. Yeah, try it. So you get these cursed loot chests, these loads of chests and things. You get these. At first I wasn't taking them. Oh, that's annoying. I think the thing I got's not better than what I had. It's exactly the same almost, so I won't. You know, I'll keep what I had, so that's annoying. But there's lots and lots of loot drops all over the place. These ones are the things I've already swapped. And yeah, one of the things is, unless anything changes, you can't carry more than one extra life, so you have to use a life if you find a new life. I always advise you to do that, and if the choice is a life or something else, always take the life if you can use it, because you will need it. But yeah, there's loads and loads of different sorts of enemies, different things. They're not shockingly any harder to kill than they were before, because I've got a better weapon. So one of the things I've learned is that enemies level up, but when you level up at least equal to them. So that's good. You can see in the middle of the screen there's a whole load of little, I'll show you actually, there's a whole load of little things you pick up as you go along, things you can pick between when you open those chest kind of enclosures. You get options of what you want. So you've got all these things that you can use, and they can be very helpful. This spectral sword one, which kind of fires swords into the air, that I used against the first boss, and that worked. I've not even used that yet. I picked it up at the end of the last level. Okay, I advise you to go into your character, because you won't know, like I didn't know, what all these things do, and there's so many of them. So I advise you every so often to go into your character, which you use on the options menu, and then you go along at the top with L1, and R1 to keep checking what you've got and what it does. The weapons you won't need to do, because weapons are self-explanatory. You hit with a sword and you shoot with a gun. You might need to know how to use your gun, because some of them you have to aim a bit and some of them fire like explosives. But certainly with the abilities and all these buff things and everything, I would suggest you spend a bit of time each time you get a new one checking out what it is, because it can make a lot of difference actually. But yeah, I think I've kind of, other than I'm not sure about when I get to play the other characters, or what happens if I go back to the base now. I don't know whether it resets to the beginning of this level or whether I start the whole thing again, because this is very much based on that kind of, you're doing a run, and so this is my run. So I don't know if I go back to the base, whether that ends my run. I don't know. I have to find out at some point, because I can't stay up all night doing this, just in case I don't die. And at the moment, I've not got that much health, but I've kind of killed everything for the moment, I think. He said. Some weird thing. So actually you can be killed by the strangest little thing, because you can just be a bit careless and you saw what was there. I should just have killed that. Or you can be on very low health, and the stupidest little alien can kill you. One time I was playing this and I had like 2 points of health left, and some really basic nothing alien killed me. So beware of the liquids in this. This one's just like water obviously, but these ones that can kill you. You saw that earlier when I fell into one. Look at that. Sometimes you need to yeah. It's all a bit of a once you get the jump and the shoot across to another level and all the things in this, it's not hard. And like I said earlier, if I can do this, anyone can do it. But it can be a bit fiddly at some point. But yeah, this is Trinity Fusion. Like I said, it's a game that I've enjoyed. Having seen how it gets when it gets more difficult, I don't see why I wouldn't enjoy it. It's not suddenly got ridiculously annoying. I've leveled up, I've got more abilities, I've got more buffs. Yes, the enemies have got more difficult, but if anything, I'd say that I've got slightly stronger more than the enemies have got stronger. I'm sure that the bosses are a different thing, because like I said, the first boss was hard, very hard. So that might be a bit of a problem, but other than that, I've enjoyed this a lot. I think I have to jump across this. Oh. Okay. Actually, that's probably a good thing. I died. So you get to see me die. And that's what it looks like when you die. So there you go. I was on power level 10. I'd killed 144 enemies on that run. That was my total gold. Those are my total other stats. And I'm quite happy with that. So it ends in failure, but I think it's one of those games where it's always going to kind of end in failure at some point. But it's an interesting game. It's a fun game. There's a lot of repetitive combat because you end up going back and doing the same thing over and over again. But because the combat's fun, because it's not fiddly or difficult, and because the levels are quite quick, you don't notice it.
Now?
And I'm back here.
The last thing I remember.
You died, and your body was recalled. I'm Director Rayleigh, and I'm in charge here on the Citadel. This is our base of operations.
Died? You must be joking, right? You can just bring people back to life?
Normally no, but as long as Maya is linked to you, we can restore your body to the state it was in when the two of you first made contact.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I think I need a minute to catch my breath.
That's fine. Take a moment to look around. Make yourself at home. But we're gonna need you back out there sooner.
Okay, so actually that was quite interesting because Altara, you can see now, is back in the stasis chamber along with the other character I've not played yet, and now I've got a new character. So I don't know whether if I come back to this area originally I would have got that character anyway, or whether I had to die first. Let's see what this looks like just while we're here. Okay, so yeah, you still keep the things you've bought in essence. So you use those blue orbs to buy these buffs, and I recommend you get the ones where you get extra health or you come back to life. There you go. And these other ones you can get, and there's some down here that you can unlock. You need to spend those gold coloured orbs to unlock that. I haven't got enough of those, but you keep what you get when you die and you come back as another character. So that's all I want you to know about that. But yeah, and when you get to go, last time I was going to the outskirts, I think it was called, or something, and this time I go to the forge if I start again. So it's good. It's very interesting. It's fun. And I like it a lot, and I would definitely recommend it. As I said in the other videos, I will make a further video of this because the more I like a game, the more I want to make videos about it, I think. Or if maybe a game's got some shockingly bad problem with it, maybe I would. But this game I like a lot. I'll make another video when I find something new to talk about. But until then, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming and Trinity Fusion.